Hi everybody, it's Hong with Text Kernel. We are talking conversations to connect. What you would say is the optimal tech stack for a recruitment agency in 2024?
Companies are no longer wanting to have multiple systems for all these different things. Generally speaking, when we go in and see a customer, they've got between 3 to 8 different systems in their back office. Payroll, invoicing, pay slips, expenses, holidays, etc. It's a nightmare. And none of these systems really talk to each other. And they're really starting to hone in on the efficiencies now of having too many systems in their tech stack.
So a lot of the customers that I speak to, they've got real desperate systems. They've got disparate systems that run payroll, they've got disparate systems that run sales, they've got disparate systems that run searching. And again, one of the key things for me is to make sure that you've got that central core of truth, and that everything else around it plugs in really nicely.
So I think that rationalization piece is about get rid of the noise, stick to the core. Ideally, keep everything in one source of truth. Because as AI becomes more prevalent, you need one source of truth if you're going to really make that data sing.
I think we're overcomplicating tech a lot recently. So there's a lot of new evolving things happening. We've had automation, the big hype of automation in 2022, 2023. I think the new subject that's come about this year is obviously AI. It's a big hype word. But I think, looking at it as a whole, I think we should personally take a step back, have a look and review your tech stack, make sure that you have like a streamless process with what you've got, and then add on the core bits.
How can you allow a recruiter to work more jobs, right? How can the agency take on more opportunities? How can they work the opportunities that in a traditional model they wouldn't be able to touch, they wouldn't have the time or the ability to do it? So how can you get the AI to really do some of that heavy lifting for you to have a material impact on the growth and the revenue of the business?
First and foremost, I think it's all about operational efficiency. So if they bring on board a solution that they can easily measure the success upon, that's definitely a future. So if they don't know how to measure any innovation they bring on board, they're going to be frustrated, they are going to struggle to measure the return of investment.
My top advice would be have a checklist of the top 5 things that you're looking to solve. It might just be quite simply the top 5 pain points that you've got with your current system that it doesn't do.
Just look at the tech stack and rationalize it, get it down to something that really supports the core, which is making people more efficient, recruiters more efficient, more effective with the data that they have.
But fundamentally, it doesn't make any impactful change unless you can build that into your sales process or your relationship management process.
So I think when you're adding a bit of tech, it's all about the adoption. So how are you adopting that? And, adding a bit of tech in and then, putting a bolt in, it's constantly evolving. Everyone's got new features, and it's like how you adopt that with your day-to-day users, with everyone in the business, operations, the managers, what their expectations are of getting out of it as well.
How have you actually implemented the product? Have you brought people along with you internally? The reason why your utilization rate is on the floor is not necessarily because of the technology, because you haven't done the business change conversation internally. You haven't taken your team with you. That's why they're not using the product.
You've got to make the decision as to what tech, what ecosystem or tech stack platform that you're going to go with. And again, it's really, look at the processes, but also look at the availability of products within those specific departments. What do they need? And then the last thing for me is how do you connect all those things together?